The heavy security door at the Indiana Pacers practice annex groans shut. The mechanical lock thunks, and suddenly the hallway is quieter than Game 7 at tip-off. Inside that room sit three very different legends. Caitlin Clark, the rookie who turned a struggling WNBA franchise into appointment television. Sophie Cunningham, the fearless veteran whose bruises double as resume lines. And Larry Bird, the Celtics icon who hasn't granted a full press scrum in more than a year. No cameras, no leaks, just a confidentiality agreement thick enough to stop a mid-range jumper in mid-flight. Out in the parking lot, a lone intern nervously checks her phone. Rumors have already hit X. Bird spotted in Indy. Why now? 10 minutes later, security wipes every lens in the building. Whatever is about to be announced, it's big enough to snuff out even the barest glimpse. Basketball fans from Boston to Beijing are about to learn whether this secret summit marks a publicity stunt or the dawn of a brand new way of playing, teaching, and selling the game. But to understand the stakes behind that locked door, you have to rewind through a season that broke records and bones along the way. Caitlin Clark's rookie campaign looked less like a learning curve and more like a slingshot. She finished the 2025 regular season at 16.9 points, 8.6 assists, and 4.9 rebounds. Numbers no first-year guard had stacked together since the league kept advanced splits. During a May showdown with Chicago, she became the first rookie ever to register back-to-back triple-doubles, sending her social metrics chart vertical for the second time in a month. More impressive than the box score were the bodies in the building. Fever crowds averaged 17,274 souls, 16 consecutive sellouts that outdrew 6 NBA teams over the same stretch. On the road, arenas that once tarped upper decks suddenly rolled back the curtains. 3 separate venues cracked the 20,000 mark, a statistic the Fever's ticket office still recites like a bedtime story. Television followed the butts in seats trend line. Clark's first game back from a quad tweak pulled 2.2 million average viewers on ESPN with a 2.8 million peak, the largest non-finals audience in league history. But all that shine attracted some shade. When USA Basketball released its Olympic roster without Clark's name, commentators bared teeth. Veterans whispered about locker room dues. Talk shows booked a full week of Snubgate segments. Then came the hard fouls. June scuffles left the rookie face down more than once, sparking viral compilation videos titled "Protect Clark or Lose Her." Clark had the numbers and the narrative, but every star needs an enforcer. Enter Sophie Cunningham. If Caitlin is fast-rising stock, Sophie Cunningham is blue-chip steel, forged in fire, immune to market dips. On paper, she supplies a tidy 11-4 nightly, but the eye test shows far more. A heat-seeking defender, a 3-ball sniper who yells "mine" like she invented the word. June 17 against Connecticut, tensions boiled over. Cunningham tangled with Sun rookie J.C. Sheldon. Within seconds, both benches emptied, 3 players exited with ejections, and highlight clips looped on national news. Weeks later in Los Angeles, Sparks guard Julie Van Loo wrapped an arm around Cunningham's neck in a loose ball scrum. Officials swallowed whistles and social feeds detonated. Ask Sophie why it keeps happening, and she'll quote the rule book. Touch my teammates, you deal with me. But Cunningham's impact isn't limited to elbows. During a June media availability, she read a prepared statement on behalf of the WNBA demanding a bigger revenue share in the 2025 CBA. In the same breath, she name-checked Caitlin Clark as proof our product finally has the leverage to ask louder. That leverage didn't go unnoticed by Indiana's most famous basketball son. Larry Bird prefers silence to headlines, but even legends get restless when the game starts rewriting itself. According to Pacers coach Rick Carlisle, Bird re-upped as a formal consultant when the club punched its ticket to the 2025 finals, marking his most hands-on stint since stepping away in 2022. Last month, a sideline reporter shouted a question about the Fever at Bird as he left practice. His response? 6 words, 1 grin. That kid's got the right edge, generated 40,000 retweets in an hour. Bird's resume needs no embellishment. 3 NBA titles, 3 straight MVPs, NBA Coach of the Year in his debut season, Executive of the Year a decade later. When he roams a Pacers hallway, interns still instinctively straighten posture. So when Bird agrees to a hush-hush sit-down with Clark and Cunningham, insiders don't assume it's a social call. They assume blueprints. The meeting venue matters, and Indiana might be the only state that could host it. Drive I-65 in January and you'll see more hoops nailed to barns than stop signs. Hoosiers measure winter by sectional brackets and reruns of Miller Time. When Clark's rookie Fever let past the Pacers in raw attendance, locals welcomed the flip as destiny fulfilled, not anomaly. The Pacers' own finals run rebooted downtown Indy. Yesers posters share window space with Clark-inspired orange banners. From French Lick, Bird territory, to the state fairgrounds, the gospel is simple. If it bounces, it belongs. That affinity makes Indiana the perfect lab for cross-gender basketball. AAU coaches already swap training slots between boys and girls squads. High school doubleheaders fill gyms twice a week. Fuse that grassroots energy with professional infrastructure and you get a pilot market the rest of the country can mimic. And mimicry is exactly what one rumored mega project is designed to provoke. The working title floated out of a back-channel Slack leak. Pacers Fever Hoops Lab. Think twin NBA regulation hardwoods rigged with 360-degree optical tracking, machine learning video edit bays, hormone-responsive recovery pods, and a VR dome where Bird's 1986 release can overlay Clark's 2025 step back. Sources tie Nike and Deloitte, both official WNBA changemakers, to the initial tech spend. Early sketches outline a mentorship spiral. Bird would chair strategy, senior NBA vets drop in weekly, and WNBA leaders, fronted by Clark and Cunningham, serve as on-court shepherds for elite high school and college prospects of any gender. Mixed roster scrimmages break down the his and hers divide, letting pure skill dictate who stays on the floor. A Pacers executive, speaking off record, framed the vision in plain math. If soccer academies can raise billion-dollar assets by age 17, why can't hoops? Of course, building cathedrals costs money. Good thing women's basketball just proved it can mint cash like never before. In July 2024, the WNBA inked an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights pact with Disney, Amazon, and NBC Universal, tripling its previous haul. The deal guarantees more than 125 national games a year starting 2026, rotating the finals across 3 networks and pushing League Pass globally. Expansion is sprinting to keep pace. Golden State's Valkyries tipped off this spring. Toronto and Portland arrive next year. Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia will bring the roster to 18 by 2030. Those new owners pay entry fees north of $50 million, and they all cite Clark-era revenue graphs in their bids. Sports finance analysts peg Clark's direct and halo economic impact at up to $1 billion over the 2025-26 period, when you fold in merch, local sponsorships, and incremental gate across the league. Put bluntly, the WNBA finally owns a war chest big enough to negotiate, build, and experiment. Bird's boardroom savvy, Cunningham's labor ferocity, and Clark's magnetic pull form the ultimate 3-prong lever. But every lever meets resistance. Old school pundits nitpick Clark's turnovers, 6.5 a night on the road, highest in the league. But fans counter that Curry averaged 6 during his MVP prime and nobody called him reckless. Skeptics dismiss Cunningham as a flagrant churner, ignoring that her defensive rating ranks top 10 among wings. Others claim Bird's instincts can't survive the analytics era, forgetting he revitalized the Pacers scouting department during his Executive of the Year stretch. Meanwhile, the 2025 CBA table looks more like a battlefield. The WNBPA wants revenue share pegged at 50%, mirroring the NBA split, plus charter flight guarantees and maternity leave protections. Owners warn of overcorrection, suggesting smaller raises until new media money actually hits accounts. Social feeds fracture. Half applaud the players' stand, half clutch fiscal spreadsheets. The tension is combustible and perfect for marketing. The Hoops Lab blueprint pairs legacy wisdom with bleeding-edge toys. Machine learning shot maps already tweak Clark's practice routines, projecting defender shading and suggesting counter moves in real time. Bird, famously a fundamentals maximalist, reportedly wants those analytics packaged into muscle memory drills. Let the computer talk, but let the body decide. On the fan side, the new media rights deal mandates alternate angle streams, choose your camera feeds, Twitch-style chat overlays, even VR courtside seats. Amazon engineers are testing an OmniFlip mode that lets viewers toggle between the men's and women's games sharing a building without buffering. Hoops Lab would function as the live petri dish for those innovations. Hard data feedback from players and fans, tweaks in real time, and immediate distribution through 3 global platforms. That kind of iteration cycle makes venture capitalists drool and gets Bird's competitive neurons firing. All of which frames the question, what exactly will they announce, and when? Leaked internal memos in mid-August between the Pacers' preseason camp and the Fever's first playoff round as the sweet spot. NBA downtime meets WNBA peak buzz. Sources inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse outline a 3-tier press event. The announcement script, insiders claim, name-checks gender-neutral skill development and commercial partnerships that transcend traditional league silos. Sponsorship blocks are reportedly sold through 2027. Immediate ripple effects, agents recalibrate off-season strategy, youth camps rethink gendered divisions, and rival NBA-WNBA pairings. From Minneapolis to Brooklyn, race to duplicate the template. And the real shockwave may arrive a decade later, when today's 12-year-olds grow up idolizing a co-ed brand of ball they never realized was novel. For 50 years, basketball greatness was sorted by league, by gender, by highlight package. In Indiana, 3 figures are daring to shuffle the deck.